Hello everyone, I'm Captain Shar. I am mostly a retro gamer, sometimes with the reaction content on YouTube and sometimes with the reaction content on Patreon. Anyways, we're back with some Fleekazoid. Mixtape is a cancer. Now, back in my day, mixtape was literally a cassette tape with music on it that you recorded yourself. It was called a mixtape. What the hell is this modern mixtape they're talking about? You know what? I have no idea, so I'm gonna let good old Fleeky explain it.
Yo, pimps, can I be honest with you? I've got game movie fatigue. Year after year, we've got these game movie writers churning out some game movie slop, and I'm sick of it. First, they came for the AAA slop, and I said everything. Like, really, you could not shut me up if you tried. Then they came for our...
There's the Saints Row reboot, which was a mistake in its own right. Hear me out, the world had potential. The game had potential. But they fucked it up. They should have just made it a prequel. And now I'm saying for Saints Row, in order to save the franchise, they should just remake the first 3 games and do not touch 4 at all, because they wrote themselves into a corner of that. That's my thoughts, anyways.
Childhood, and I started a war. I'm about to tear mixtape apart in a few minutes. I don't care what they say. Let those game movie
Is this shit mixtape?
actors watch. I like that. Now we've reached the last bastion of gaming. Indie. This was always supposed to be your safe harbor from AAA garbage. For years, people have said, well, if you don't like AAA games, just go play indie. Well, what are you gonna do when they just brute force their way in here, too? Well, now you don't have to wonder anymore. This game movie bullshit. Now they want you to applaud their billion-dollar indie game like they did something special. But hey, maybe I'm just
this looks like AI generated
Let's take a look at a special moment from the game. Come on, let's give it a shot, guys.
You can't do it from the orbit.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's it. No more shots for you. I gotta take as many shots as I give. My liver can't take it anymore.
But does it really look like it's a game? Was this the game that everyone was talking about that you can't actually play? It's just an interactive cutscene that you do nothing with? If that's the case, I'm wondering if it was literally generated by an AI.
Which reminds me, have you ever seen a MILF shake? Well, you can at the link below. This was the only safe for work product. Be sure to use code PIMP to get 10% off. Seriously, I don't know how many more of these game movies I can take. At this point, it's not like anyone even takes IGN seriously anymore, but they've got enough money to annoy me on a...
IGN's been a joke for years. Let's be real. A lot of these quote-unquote journalists or critics are no longer needed in this digital era. We have literally reviews that we can go off of now. And it's true, and you can say that's true because companies are paying people to give good reviews now and all that, so it's kind of like, alright, not interested in your shitty money.
Daily basis. Some random freelance writer slaps a 10 out of 10 on this. Now I gotta talk about it. So let's talk about it. Mixtape is a game that's supposed to be indie, you know, despite the fact that they've spent more on licensed music than most games ever make. Because, you know, with such generous licensing fees in the industry right now, every scrappy solo dev should be able to pay 400 grand per song, right? And how can we forget about that indie charm of sending out expensive merch to all the reviewers and content creators? Like, you think putting
AI generated, I'm sorry.
A gold bar and a goodie bag is a bribe? Well, it is. But they didn't do that. And legally, I need to make this very clear so that I don't get sued by this chick's billionaire father. I can't afford a lawyer. I'm a butler on a budget. You think they can't be an indie dev because their father is a billionaire? Listen, just because they've got a team of 30...
Yeah, I don't know if that would constitute as being indie when you have literally... When you're literally a billionaire family. Yeah, I don't know. My brain is out on that one.
People and millions of dollars backing them. That doesn't mean they can't be a scrappy indie too. Curb your prejudice. You people can't stand the sight of a young billionaire making their way out of the streets of their gated community. A billionaire that has more than nothing to work with. All the support money can buy. You don't know how hard it is to have this.
This looks like someone wanted to make a movie and they did it in a game engine just because.
little to struggle with. We started from the top.
It looks like it suffered from the Spider-Man
It looks like
it suffered from the Spider-Man animation curse.
Mixtape is not a game. Some people say it has gameplay, then show you this. I hate my dad. I asked for a Ferrari. Got a Cayenne. This is supposed to be 90s nostalgia, but this story was so 90s. Asinine that it's got me thinking maybe the past fucking sucked. Maybe we are living.
The past never sucked. These people didn't live in the past. That's the problem. They never experienced it. I could be completely wrong. Hey, I'm just saying though, it feels like when people try to recreate something and they have no idea what the fuck it is, it's just kind of like, all right, I can smell the research. There's not enough wood grain.
In the best times. That's how delusional this game makes me, and I'm tired of calling it a game. They keep cranking out these game movies that no one wants to watch, let alone play. These are failed Hollywood actors that devolve into game movie actors to pretend they matter. All these game movie actors just won't come out and admit it. You don't want to be a game movie actor. You're game for pay. So stop slapping around joysticks and go back to ruining Marvel movies. My culture is not your costume. Pride Month is early, sucker. Welcome to Game Pride Month. Twinkle, twinkle, star. And listen, I'm not saying these people are only in it for the fame. I'm sure they're in it for the money too. They're planning to have a theatrical release of the whole 3-hour experience.
How can you have a theatrical release of a game? That's not a game. Oh, wait. As a cinematic unplayable, what the fuck? What? 90s coming of age. I feel insulted because, like, that was my coming of age era. So, like, go fuck yourself, respectfully. What the how? This hurts my head. This literally hurts my head. Theatrical release. Unplayable, so you're just gonna do a full LP, let's play basically, of the game and call it a movie? Question mark? This... I've never heard of the Artful Escape. Not to be confused with the 2021 Netflix film Mixtape. How the fuck did you get... I don't know. You would think you would choose a different name over that. I don't know. It just feels... I don't know.
You know what doesn't have that? A video game. The only theatrical release happening this year is Street Fighter, and that's because Tammy has lore-accurate cheeks. Mixtape blew guys. Wait, sorry. Mixtape blew it, guys. So instead, they want every indie game award and an Oscar. Your greed sickens me. Listen, stories are great, but you seem to be forgetting that this is a video game. And the nice part about a video game is that after the cutscene, you get to play the game. If I cannot play the game, it's not a game anymore, is it? I mean, you know, I'm the type of freak that likes to game and watch. Call me Mr. Game and Watch. Game and Watch?
I get it.
Yeah, I hope they do. I had nowhere else to put this joke, so it goes here. Frick you guys. Anyway, were you really shocked by the 10 from IGN?
Paid off.
Were you really shocked by that rhyme?
I am pretty sure most reviews nowadays are just paid off. If you get a free copy of the game, you're expected to give a good score. Same with movies. If you get to see it for free, you're expected to give it a good review. I don't know. I'm just tired of all these critics and journalists going, yeah, this is perfect. This is God's gift to man. It's like, is it? Is it really now? They still have sandwiches where you come from. Like, come on.
Am I rhyme? This is a movie for failures from the 90s that still blame their parents for being born. The last indie game they played was from the 90s that still blame their parents for being born.
Oh, last day. I thought it was a laser disc drive. That is... Looks like a bootleg old Sony,
The last indie game they played was Cuphead, and they couldn't even beat the tutorial. They're still butthurt from that, so anything with gameplay is gonna get a lower score. Remember when they gave Crimson Desert a 6 out of 10 because they had to think? Look, we all know critical thinking isn't their strong suit, and sure, people accuse them of using AI. But you gotta cut them some slack. They can't even spell AI. Anymore, the lower the score, the better the game. And before people say it, I don't want Mixtape to fail. I hope they win every trophy at the Game Awards. That way they can melt them down and recoup their dev cost.
I really feel like the Game Awards is also just another shit show now, because it used to be about everything. It used to be, like, actually about the awards, and now it's gotten so bloated that it's like, you know what, the last one I watched was 3 hours long, and it was a complete waste of my time. Because 99% of the stuff on the list shouldn't win, but does. And it's kind of like, alright, whatever, this is clearly just friends of friends, more or less, allegedly. But I do feel like they could use a new host at this point for the Game Awards, because I don't feel like Buddy has any more charisma left in him.
Fortunately, these awards are only metaphorically worthless, especially when you see how Expedition 33 stole every indie game award despite having a shoestring $10 million budget, large experienced team of developers, and complete support of every gaming journo in the industry. With an ivory tower like that, poor Pizza Tower never stood a chance. What it also had going against it is that it didn't even come out in the same year as this. Who wrote this script? Damn, I did. What even is an indie game anymore? When I think of an indie game budget, I think of $100.
Yeah, indie game, I picture maybe 2 million tops for an indie game. But most people picture indie games without any big company around it supporting it at all. Because there's no corporations involved, so that makes it independent. Hence the term indie, basically, but hey, whatever. But I'm just a cat on the internet. I don't know much, and so my orange cat, basically brain inside of me, is very much like, ooh, shiny.
To a failed Kickstarter. Not unlimited money from your billion-dollar daddy. Seriously. Mixtape is the billionaire's equivalent of giving an iPad to your dog.
No, this look reminds me of the Spider-Man movie, the animated Spider-Man movies, and I'm not a fan of them at all either. Sorry, people. I was a fan of the old Tobey Spider-Man, or the original animated Spider-Man, but the CG era, it just feels meh to me.
So she'll leave you the hell alone. All these companies heard we like indie games and are trying to dress up like scrappy upstarts. Can't wait to play 2026.
Oh no, I'm the person from the past who shouldn't be complaining about frame rate when the N64 runs games sometimes at 14 FPS depending, but this just looks like this, because of the quality is so high in all the assets for this, you should not be walking around at ass frame rate. I'm just saying. It should be it should be at least 30.
This is Indie Game of the Year, Call of Duty 27. And I know I gave Mixtape the business.
By using less frames, you have to do less animation, so saves money, air quote unquote.
But I really love this game and can't wait to play it over and over again for the rest of my life. In fact, I rented out a whole theater so I could enjoy it fully.
Was that supposed to be a reference to that Simpson chase?
Myself.
Like, the world looks good for the game. It looks like, from what I've seen in this video, it looks pretty. However, I cannot get past that ass frame rate.
This fucking game. Motherfucker greenlit this. And I told you not to use that picture. I got a double check. Oh shit, we're still rolling? Thanks to the flock of pimps, the pimps have spoken. You're about to witness the biggest budgets that have ever graced the front of a shaker cup. Dropping May 28th, so the countdown starts today. Go bookmark it and mark your calendars for some great big jugs.
Yeah, the reason why I haven't done the Steam controller sucks because I have no interest in the Steam controller, guys. Sorry. I'm still using an Xbox One controller on PC. That's just me, though. Anyways, like usual, link to the original will be down below, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.